is interesting. We don't want this. We want... Oh dear. We got a bit more gusto. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. It's Christmas. No, Chris, it's Chris. It's Chrissy. It's Chrissy D. It's Chrissy D. It's the show. It's time for the show. It's Chrissy McD. You'd think he wasn't a musician at all because of how he does the thing that he's doing now. Anyway, it's how to get a gig. How do you get one? Gigs. They're important. If you're a music guy, or a music lady, or a music monkey, it's important. You gotta get a gig, or what's the point of doing everything? Then you're just a bedroom lady. Wait, that came out wrong. Then you're just a bedroom musician, right? And that's fine. You know, if you want to do that, that's fine. But if you're here, you probably want a bit more. How do you get a gig? I'm going to tell you one way or the other. This is my experience, and I'm going to give you my information. It might not apply. All of it might not apply to you. I'm going to do my best. Hi. I'm good at starting videos. That's one thing, right? I'm good. I'm really good at starting videos. So, God, let's get started. So you've recently started a band. That's cool. You've agreed with a bunch of people. Hey, let's do a band thing. That's not enough. No. You've got to practice regularly. I would say once a week. Would you say once a week? Once a week's good. You've got to agree on a set list for everyone to learn. Now, depending on the levels of motivation and the efficiency of your band, it's going to take between one practice if you're the best musicians in the world, in which case you don't need to be here, in which case you're probably here just to make fun of how unaccomplished I am. And I don't want you here. Between 1 and 20 practices, say 20 weeks could get you set up with a covers band. I remember my first band. I remember that we didn't even think about getting gigs for about a year, maybe more, because we were just enjoying being together and enjoying each other's company and enjoying the music and jamming and making wonderful things happen together. So my point is, there's no hard and fast rule for this, how long you need to take to get ready to be ready to gig. It really depends on when you feel ready. So what I said before is kind of pointless. But also, nothing, and I mean nothing, motivates a musician more than the idea that there's a gig on the horizon. Think about it. If a musician goes, I have to play this in front of other people in a few weeks' time, I better learn this song. So when you're getting towards the end of building your set list, which should be about 2 hours long for a covers band, that's about 30 songs. Then as you're getting to like the last few songs to learn, maybe start booking gigs, and that'll really push the band onwards, and just apply that bit of pressure. But it's up to you, I suppose, when to decide that. So you'd probably need at least a 2-hour set to open up pretty much all the types of gigs that can be on offer to you. That's with a covers band. With an originals band, however, it's very commonplace to have, say, a 45-minute set or maybe a 1-hour set. Because think of the places that you're going to be playing. You're going to be getting gigs in festivals and setups like that, where you'll have some kind of support artist, or you'll be supporting another band. In which case, it's very normal to have a 1 hour set, and then you can build on that as you go, and increase your playtime. Sorry, my neighbors are home. Let's just let them get inside. Okay, I think they're in. So being an originals band and making your set list, I can't really tell you how long that's going to take. It's a more complicated process, as you're probably already aware. Depends how you write. Do you have one guy that writes a skeleton of all the songs and you guys flesh it out, as it were? Do you all get together once a week and spend 5 hours writing songs together? But either way, it can take any amount of time to come up with a 1 hour set list of music that you're happy with. And that, again, is down to you. You got to practice. Point number 2. You got to know your product. So you're all practiced up. Oh my God, you know the songs so well, it's boring. Okay, maybe don't get to that stage, but during this time, you'll have had some band discussions like, what the hell are you doing? What kind of band are you? Are you covers or an originals band? If you play covers, what kind of set list do you have? If you're an originals band, what does your music sound like? What kind of gigs do you want to play? This stuff's very important if you want to, sell your product to people. You also need to know where you're happy to target. Are you going to be playing pubs and bars? Are you going to be playing private weddings? Do you have festivals? Do you want to do those? Do you want to put on your own gig? I remember my first gig. I actually put it on myself with the help of others at a school. It was a battle of the bands. And there's a video of that gig. And oh my God, we sounded so bad. Really bad. We also were disqualified from the competition. My own battle of the bands. Because our bass player decided to swear very loudly in a room full of children. Afterwards, we were taken to the principal's office. And 2 of us, there were 4 of us in the band, were banned from the premises and asked to never return, ever again. The only reason that the other 2, me included, were allowed to come back to the premises was because we attended the school. It's nice times. So you can put on your own gigs as well. Just do not swear down the microphone at children. Doesn't go down well. Point number 3, marketing. Now you know your product. You know what kind of thing you're going for. This is where you need to start creating a little bit of buzz online and in your local area about who you are. And you can, of course, go to
Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube.
We know all about these things, and they are very important in today's world of today. You can also advertise upcoming gigs with posters and flyers at the venues in question. You should even consider setting yourselves up with a website and even hiring someone to do it for you if you've got a bit of cash. Or setting it up on Wix.com, which is today's non-sponsor. It's not, I'm not sponsored at all. So it's just a thing that I know. I've got knowledge. I'm down with the kids. I've got knowledge. A website can be really handy because it can act as a base of operations for your online activity. You can link your social media into it. You can have, of course, contact information. People can contact you directly through the website. It also just demonstrates that you're serious about what you're doing. So if people know you have a website, at least you've taken the time and the effort to build a website or to get one built. People will take you more seriously. But it's not essential to get started. Do consider it though. Now you need content for all these platforms that you've set up with your band email, which is probably something like bigsmashband@hotmail.com. Which means getting the camera out at practices so that you can have content for these platforms. Taking short videos of you guys making music in the practice room or in a living room or even busking or something like that. Make sure it's decent quality. So, you guys are playing quite well, not too many bum notes, and the room doesn't sound like a trash can. Things like that. Think about those. And once you start getting your first gigs, you can then replace that kind of okay content with better stuff from your recent gigs and post regular. Once a week, do something with your social media, photographs, whatever. If you're meeting once a week, it should be quite easy to do as long as the band are on board with it. Point number 4, contact. Hello. Hi there. The way I would recommend you start is first by establishing, again, what the hell do you want to do? What are the band happy to do? They want to play bars? Let's do bars. Use Google Maps and search for live music venues in your area, maybe a 20-mile radius, okay? And then you're going to make a big ass list of all those venues, a spreadsheet, and you're going to write down all of their contact information, and you're going to write down any details that you know about each venue. What type of venue is it? Is it a rock bar? Is it a dive bar? Is it a funky cocktail bar? Or, is it a place that only operates at certain times a year? Anything you know about the venue from just quickly looking at it. That'll just help you keep track of who you're talking to and also help you develop an approach to that venue in your head. And that's a day done. You've done it. You've done a day's work. You've made a massive list of all the venues. Go to sleep. You've done good. Well, it's the next day. Now, if you followed the previous step and you already have something to show people, you've already got a little bit of social media, it makes things a lot easier when you're first contacting these venues to say, I'll send you a link of us playing. I'll send you a link to our YouTube and our website. When you get the chance, check us out. That just helps the conversation with a venue or a booking agent go a lot smoother. So pick the first venue on the list that meets your criteria. Now the conversation might go something like this. Hi, my name's Chris. Do you have live music there? They'll say, yes, madam. I'll say, now I tend to be quite direct here. And I just say, well, I'm in a band. I'm looking for places to play. Can I speak with the person that organizes that, please? Now, there's a little disclaimer in here. I hope I'm not making this way too simple and too obvious for you. But when I started doing this, no one had told me directly what to say and what to do. So I thought it might be useful. I'm not being like really patronizing or anything like that. I'm just like, when I started, didn't really know. Anyway, I just thought I would say that. Then they'll likely say something like, yeah, sure, what kind of music do you play? And this is where you will have a set list in front of you that says, yeah, we do, Stevie Wonder, we play Radiohead, The Killers, whatever your set list is. Or if you've got an original setup, you'll have made already just a little blurb, a little list of, hey, yeah, we've got quite a funky sort of sound. We play hip hop tunes. We're a rock band. We take inspiration from these bands, things like that, just to help you, just to help the conversation flow when you're first interacting with people. I cannot tell you how many times people have approached me and said, "Oh, you're in a band? Well, what kind of stuff do you play? What kind of stuff do you do? Like what bands do you do?" And I just cannot remember a single song that's ever been made by humans on Earth. What kind of stuff do you play? What kind of stuff do you do? Like what bands do you do? So it always helps to prepare. I like to have things written down when I'm on the phone to people. Have a piece of paper in front of you. The next thing they'll ask is, how much do you charge? This is a tricky one. I probably can't tell you exactly how much you should be charging. That's a discussion to be had with your band. It also depends on the area and the world that you live in. In the UK, playing in a bar for two to £300 is quite a good average sort of a pay. If you have no idea how much to charge, I would recommend being just honest with the person you're speaking with and say, well, it's one of our first gigs. What would you normally pay a band? Now, I know that leaves you open to being completely exploited, but depending on how the conversation's going, maybe you'd rather that they underpaid you a little bit for your first gig so that you can have your first gig. Because maybe you can look at it like they're giving you a bit of a chance. You're just getting going. But again, that's up to you, really. It might not be in the venue's interests to massively underpay you, especially if they want to have you back. And if they want to have you back, they really like what you do, you can then negotiate prices after that. But do have a chat with the band and know how much you're going to quote the venue, and they will ask. So they might give you a date then and there where you'll contain your excitement and follow up with, cool, yeah, so what time do you want us to start playing on that date? And this is really important. You need to know when you're going to start. You need to know when you're going to finish. You need to know what the rules are. You also, if they say 9 o'clock start, that's when you need to start playing. You want to give yourself about 1.5 hours, maybe 2 hours to set up a normal sort of a 4 or 5 piece band. You're going to need a couple hours to set up, and you're going to have to mention that to the venue owner and say, hey, so we arrive at 7:30. Is that okay? And if we arrive at that time, will there be a space cleared for us? Are we going to be able to park near the venue? Oh my God. I have had to lug my gear, my whole drum kit, through towns and cities and through fields and oceans just because I can't park near the venue. It's something worth noting. You might need to give yourself an extra hour or so to get everyone sorted and get everyone's gear into the building, etc. If it's a festival or if it's a town festival, this gets a lot more complicated because there's not a lot of roads get blocked off and things like that. You really want to have a conversation with them about that. And most venues are pretty happy to offer some kind of help, or they will clear tables and clear space for you. And as long as when you arrive, you're respectful and say, hey, just to let you know I'm with the band, where are we playing? All of those kinds of conversations will happen then. I might actually follow that up in more detail, maybe another video or something, as to what happens at a gig, what you would expect to happen. So have a dialogue with them about these ground rules. What are the rules of the venue? What's the latest time you can play until? Find out if there's going to be enough room for the band. If you're in an 8-piece band, is there going to be enough room? Find out if there's a sound limiter as well, if you're a loud band, because a lot of venues, part of the law in some of them is to have this sound limiter, which is basically a horrendous evil box that ruins your entire night, because if it goes red for too long, if you're too loud for too long, it cuts the power. And as you know, guitarists, that's bad times for your amps. Do ask about the sound limiter and what the drill is. How loud are you allowed to play? Also, if you've got a disabled band member, make sure there's wheelchair access, make sure there's disabled toilets, things like that. Really important that the night goes as smoothly as possible, and it's in their interest that the night goes smoothly and that you're well informed, because they don't want to be constantly babying you throughout the night. They've got work to do on the night as well. So make sure you have information before you get in there. And this is the final point I have for you. Organize yourselves. Put it in a calendar. If you've got the gig, put it in a calendar. Maybe use a shared calendar with the band. That's quite effective. And get used to using a calendar. And that just doesn't apply to getting gigs. That applies to practicing. If you're getting together for recording sessions or photo shoots or whatever, get used to using a calendar. If you're an old school hipster and you don't believe in phones, then do old school calendar stuff and have a calendar in your bedroom with regularly updated dates for what's going on. Really important. I've had trouble with me personally forgetting that there's a gig on tonight and getting a phone call from a concerned band member where I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Hey man, I'm on my way, dude. Don't know why I turn into an American guy, but sometimes when I'm panicked, I do. And I've also had other band members just forget that there's a practice or forget that there's gigs. Don't let it happen. Just everyone get used to using a calendar, setting reminders on your phone, whatever it takes. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you guys, I hope it helped some of you guys. Maybe it wasn't all relevant, but I know coronavirus is causing a bit of a no-go with this stuff. But at least you can start to get prepared for when things change again. It's a good time to get your head around all of this. And yeah, get out there. I might see you out there. Well, that would be weird because maybe we'd be double booked. And then we'd have an argument of some kind about being double booked. Or I might just come and see you. Maybe that makes more sense, actually. Anyway, thanks again. And like me. Please like me. And I'll see you in the next thing.